On Christmas Eve, my parents once again left me alone at home for triple overtime pay. Thinking of the past 20 years when they always did this, I no longer wanted to spend the holiday alone and cold. So I packed some dumplings and went to find them. Unexpectedly, my parents, who always talked about earning more money, stepped out of a luxury car, arm in arm with a boy about my age, laughing as they entered a 5-star restaurant. "Mom, Dad, is it okay to leave Sarah alone at home?" I heard someone ask. My mother casually replied, "It's fine, she's used to it." My father dismissively added, "She can't compare to you. You're our precious child." I turned and left. They had deceived me by pretending to be poor. This time, I didn't care for their company either. Back home, I dumped all the food on the table. In the past, I would never have wasted food. From as early as I can remember, I knew our family wasn't well off. All my food and clothes came from my parents' frugal savings. Even my clothes were rarely new. Every season, my mother would bring home a bag of second-hand clothes, saying, "These are from your mother's colleague's older sister. They've been washed clean, so we don't need to buy new ones." I don't know where she got these old clothes from, but throughout my childhood, I hardly ever wore new clothes. I always wore ill-fitting clothes, and my classmates would make fun of me, saying I was a ragpicker. I could only study hard, thinking that one day I would be able to buy new clothes with my own efforts. During holidays, I would hand over all the money relatives gave me to my parents, just to ease their burden. But who knew they had no burden at all? I checked, and that luxury car belonged to the wealthy Johnson family in town. The Johnson's son had once driven that car, showing off with a celebrity girlfriend. I had seen that gossip news too, and the face of that rich young man was the same as the boy I saw tonight. So, it turns out I'm actually from a wealthy family. I found it amusing, sniffed, and went back to search my parents' room. Perhaps they were too careless to keep the contract at home. When I saw my father's name signed on a contract worth hundreds of millions, with a Mont Blanc pen tucked in the documents, my suspended heart finally died. I put everything back as it was and quietly returned to my room, covering myself with the blanket to sleep. I only hoped that when I woke up, everything would be a dream. Early the next morning, my parents were already busy in the kitchen. Looking at the breakfast on the table, I suddenly realized, who eats seafood porridge early in the morning? The taste of this porridge was exactly the same as the seafood feast the professor treated us to last time. I glanced at the garbage bag by the door, and sure enough. "Mom, Dad, has our family suddenly become rich?" I asked, sitting at the table watching them. My mother looked surprised. "Sarah, what are you talking about? Then how can we afford such expensive seafood porridge?" I pointed at the garbage bag by the door, and my mother's face immediately changed. My father chuckled lightly. "That's from when I worked overtime with the boss last night. He packed it for me, but I couldn't bear to eat it, so I brought it back. With our meager salaries, how could we afford seafood porridge? So that's it." I nodded, drinking the porridge, inwardly laughing coldly. Seafood porridge, $80 a serving. Last night's dinner probably cost thousands. If they were truly poor, I would have found this porridge delicious. Now, it just tasted like chewing wax. I only took 2 bites before getting up. "I'm full." "Sarah, why are you eating so little? Are you not feeling well?" My mother looked worried, her gaze not seeming fake. I shook my head and smiled. "No, aren't we going to Grandpa's house today? I'm saving room to eat something good at lunch." Hearing this, my mother sighed in relief. My father looked guilty and was about to say something when his phone rang. I glanced at the screen. The contact was saved as precious son Jack. Jack Johnson was his precious son, so what was I? My father hurried to the balcony, and my mother followed. I vaguely heard him saying things like "be sensible and don't let Sarah find out." My heart turned completely cold. So, they had known all along, just conspiring to keep it from me. I even wondered if the world I lived in was like the Truman Show. But they seemed so real. After hanging up the phone, my father came to me and took out a red envelope. "Sarah, something urgent came up at Dad's company. I have to go." Mom comforted me. "It's okay, Mom will go with you." I nodded, took the red envelope, and put it in my pocket. I got ready with Mom to go to Grandpa's house. When we arrived, Grandpa saw me and pulled me in. "Sarah's here, come in quickly, it's cold outside." His palm was smooth and delicate, not at all like an old worker's hands. This apartment building belonged to the steel mill. Supposedly, Grandpa was a retired old worker from the factory. Looking at his pampered appearance, he didn't seem like it at all. Grandma saw me and quickly gave me a red envelope. I took it and said, "Thank you, Grandma." Then I directly put it in my pocket. Mom looked a bit stunned beside me because according to the usual routine, I would give her the money right after receiving it. At those times, Mom would always say, "Sarah is so sensible." But today was different. Even Grandma was a bit surprised, then smiled and said, "Our Sarah now knows how to save her Christmas money." I raised an eyebrow and smiled. "I'm not hiding it. Mom said the Christmas should have new changes, so I want to keep some pocket money for myself." "That's right, Sarah is so sensible now. She earns her own tuition and living expenses." Mom chimed in. Without being told, I knew Grandma had given me at most $50. Compared to tuition fees, This $50 was nothing. They're so rich now, yet still squeezing me at every turn. I don't understand. This harsh education, aimed only at me, what exactly do they mean? Grandma didn't say anything, but went into the kitchen and started bustling about. The food she brought out, I lost my appetite after just 2 bites. This food was exactly the same as what I saw at the 5-star restaurant last night. Now I can finally be sure, the whole family is wealthy, and my parents are just pretending to be poor. Even Grandpa and Grandma are playing along with the act. After the meal, Mom received a phone call and hurriedly left, citing work. Grandpa and Grandma yawned, looking sleepy, so I couldn't stay any longer and had to leave. But I didn't go far, instead hiding around the corner to watch quietly. Sure enough, not 20 minutes after I left, a stretched Lincoln car drove up, and Grandma and Grandpa got in, surrounded by a group of people, leaving without looking back. I took a deep breath, put on my mask, and walked up. I saw several cleaning ladies tidying up. One of them sighed, "I don't know what this family is thinking, coming to live here for just 1 day a year, cooking 1 meal, and then leaving. At least they pay well for the cleaning. You don't know, this family does this every year, it's been going on for over 20 years. They have a villa in the south of the city, this is just rich people experiencing life." Hearing them say this, my heart turned completely cold. The Johnson family, the richest in the south of the city, had their villa in Hillside Garden. I cycled over to find it. Seeing that magnificent villa perched on the hillside, with bodyguards outside, I couldn't even imagine living in such a place. When they saw me approach, a bodyguard immediately barked, "Who are you? Get lost." I took a deep breath, and just as I was about to turn and leave, a motorcycle roared past from outside. I had seen it online. This motorcycle cost about $300,000. The rider was none other than Jack. He saw me too, clearly surprised. He stopped and looked me up and down, a sneer on his face. "Not so stupid after all, you knew to come here." I was stunned. So, he knew about my existence too. Why? Why is it like this? "Jack, am I their adopted daughter? Or are you doing some project, and I'm just a subject in your observation experiment?" Jack seemed to see through my confusion. He raised an eyebrow and shook a finger. "No, you're a Johnson too. A biological daughter. As for why you were raised poor, there's only one reason. Because I am the sole heir to the Johnson family. Sarah, you were born just 1 minute before me. What right do you have to compete with me? This is not a place for you to come. Get lost." "Poor thing, don't look at me like that. Mom and Dad put a lot of effort into raising you. Oh, and don't go visit Grandpa and Grandma for Christmases anymore. They're old and don't have the energy to act for you." Jack accelerated into the estate. I stood outside for a long time, understanding. My birth with Jack seemed to be related to the inheritance of the family fortune. But what did I do wrong? I just wanted to receive the most sincere love from my parents. They lied to me for so many years, but their kindness to me was also real. But now, looking at the villa and that motorcycle, I began to doubt how much of their kindness to me was genuine. I turned to leave. Before leaving, I called my father. "Dad, are you coming home for dinner tonight?" "Not coming back, Sarah. Working overtime tonight, triple pay for these 3 days of the Christmas." "Oh, and your mom's the same." But I clearly heard the roar of a motorcycle from his phone. I softly responded millimeter, having made a decision deep in my heart. Back home, I started packing my things while signing up for a special research project announced by the university. This project was in the Western region, lasting 3 years, isolated from the world, with no one to disturb me. After packing, I developed the photo I had taken of Jack's back and placed it on the bedside table at home. That day, they didn't come back. I was alone at home. I called my father again, but no one answered. Meanwhile, the Johnson family's Jade Corporation started distributing red envelopes. An employee thanked the boss on social media. She was just an ordinary employee, but her red envelope contained $300. Many employees showed off the company benefits. My parents were clearly on stage, one in a suit and the other holding a glass of wine. My mom was wearing exquisite makeup, looking every bit the wealthy lady. Below the stage, Jack was surrounded by people like a star, and there was even a family photo. My parents seemed certain that I was only focused on making money and had no time to pay attention to online gossip. They forgot that I'm just an ordinary girl, raised poor by them. How could I not pay attention? A reporter interviewed them, asking about their Christmas plans. My father faced the camera. "This year my son Jack is 22. We arrange a trip every year, and we're leaving today." My heart suddenly sank. I'm 22 too. If the farthest place I've been is the local zoo for a school spring tour in elementary school. I sneered, picked up my household registration book, and rubbed it. It's laughable. After I went to college, my parents transferred my household registration to the school. They said I was an adult now and should be responsible for myself. Now is the perfect time to leave. I picked up my luggage and left without hesitation. "Dad, Mom, goodbye forever.